Well, well, well. The Dallas Cowboys have traded for Joe Milton III. Great day, Cowboys Nation. The Cowboys have made an incredible move, and I really got to do some more digging on this, because for all intents and purposes, Joe Milton he looks like he's going to be a really good quarterback. I'm recovering from Cowboys After Dark. I thought I was going to be able to get me another nap in, and here we go. The Cowboys dropped some news. So since the Cowboys have dropped some news, then we got to report on it. This is some great stuff. And whether it be 10 or 10,000, we're going to talk Cowboys. Adrian Miller, what's going on? Let me pull up some things. Got quite a few Cowboy content creators on, so it is what it is. But again, if it's just me and you, Adrian, we're going to talk about this today. See if we can pull this up. All right, as y'all come on in, I want to look at some things on Joe Milton III. I hadn't even had time. Like I said, I was hitting them Z's. Okay, all right. Let's look at some few more things. I just want to pull up some things here on Joe Milton III. And also pull up some things on the New England Patriots. All right. But again, this is going to be our subject matter for the most part of this show today. Is we're going to be talking about one Joe Milton III and this pickup by the Dallas Cowboys, because I consider this to be an incredible trade for the Dallas Cowboys, and at the same time a confusing trade as it applies to the New England Patriots. I really do consider this to be an incredible trade for the Cowboys. Welcome, Poobie D. David J., what's going on with you? We'll see if we get some more coming in, but right now we're going to go ahead and get to it. Welcome, 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 Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this live stream, please, or as you come into this live stream, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so you know the next time we go live, we'll post another video. Now let's talk facts. While this is not a shocking trade for the Cowboys. It's not a shocking trade. But I am shocked that they did it today. Because we've already been hearing about this particular trade that they had going on. They were considering this trade for one Joe Milton III. And I'll be honest with you. I looked at Joe Milton III last year, and I was kind of blown away because I thought he had a lot of ability. I thought he showed a lot of promise. And the thing, I guess, where I'm surprised is, let me kind of start backwards on Joe Milton. I think one of the issues with Joe Milton is, and okay, now remember this whole thing about Joe Milton. I had to really get my mind back thinking about Joe Milton. Joe Milton is an older quarterback. He's 25 years of age. So he's an older quarterback. Because when he came into the league, he was 24. Now, someone may be saying, what is that? What's the big deal on that? Not necessarily saying it's a big deal, but quarterbacks typically, you graduate when you're, 18, 17, 18. You play maybe, if you're really good, you might play 3 years of college ball. You come out at the age of 21, at the latest 22. And so Joe Milton is an older quarterback. He's 24. He's 25 years old. He just turned 25. So I remember looking at Joe Milton, and Joe Milton, man, he has a cannon for an arm. He has a cannon for an arm, and he, for all intents and purposes, everything I saw, he looks like he is a pretty accurate quarterback. And the real appealing thing about Joe Milton III that just jumps off the tape at you is the fact that he is a 6'5" quarterback. He is 6'5". This is Joe Milton. This is the stuff that just makes you go, what in the world? Joe Milton is 6'5", 246 pounds. That is incredible when you think about a quarterback. I mean, when you think about 6'5", first thing comes to your mind. 6'5", can easily see over defenses. Can easily see the whole field. Joshua Dobbs, I'm sorry, not Joshua. I'm going to mention him in just a moment. When you start thinking about the size, and the New England Patriots got him in the 6th round in the 2024 draft. So what kind of got me wondering is, while I think it's a great pickup for the Cowboys, what's got me wondering is, why would the New England Patriots, why would they trade Joe Milton when their backup is Joshua Dobbs? Why would they keep him over Milton? Joshua Dobbs is an older, he's starting to be what you would call a journeyman quarterback. He's 30 years of age. He's a journeyman quarterback now. And for the most part, Joshua Dobbs, most people will tell you that Joshua Dobbs, if you're talking about 3 games maybe, Joshua Dobbs can come right in and do the job for you. And he'll look good doing it. Problem is with Joshua Dobbs, I've noticed this watching him being the backup for other teams. Once you get past about 3 games, you start seeing all the cracks. You start seeing all the cracks in Joshua Dobbs' game. And then you quickly realize that, okay, I see what's up here. Joshua Dobbs is a true backup quarterback. Nothing more, nothing less. And you don't want to take him past 3 to 4 games. And so where I'm really confused as it applies to the New England Patriots is, why would they get rid of Joe Milton III? I don't understand that part. I'm kind of missing the part of them letting go of Joe Milton III. What up, Poobie D? Oh yeah, I believe he wanted to come to us too. And for some reason, New England was ready to depart with him. David J, I agree with you. He could be a tight end. He's that big. Get right. He said Joe Blow is a specimen. I hope Dak takes him. Man, I'm telling you, he said, I hope Dak takes him under his wing. He will. Dak Prescott will take him under his wing, because one thing we know, you know what? Joe Milton, I'm not going to be shocked. Joe Milton is going to look very good. Joe Milton, we might as well prepare ourselves now. Somebody's going to have to say the quiet part out loud. Todd Church, yeah, because, gotcha. You're saying because of a new coaching staff, that's why New England is shaking him. I got you. Okay, David J said they didn't keep him because they're taking a quarterback in the first round. Whoa. I didn't know when they I don't know when they picked, though. David J, what's going on with you? I didn't know they were picking a quarterback in the first round. I thought Drake May was their man. I really thought Drake May was the man for him. So I'm not aware of that because I don't really follow New England like that. I'm going to actually go. We're going to do some digging while we're live. We're going to do some digging. I want to see what the New England Patriot got people are saying about this. See if I can find some stuff on the New England Patriot media. Todd Church said, I think you're saying they got new coaching. Okay, we're going to check into that. I mean, yeah, they did get new coaching. Man, I'm just telling you, Todd Church, call me crazy. I thought Joe Milton III could have been the quarterback for the Patriots last year. I do. I think he could have been the quarterback for the Patriots last year. I really thought he really had that good of a showing. I thought he could have been the quarterback for the Patriots last year. What's going on, Tim Pannell? What's going on? David J. Okay, you said you just speculating. Okay. I'm just surprised by this. Not by the Cowboys getting him. I'm surprised by the Patriots trading him. Joe Milton III, I'm telling us, and I know some of us already know this. This dude looked really good. I even watched Joe Milton play college ball. Now, I'm not a Tennessee fan. I don't watch a lot of college football, but I did see Joe Milton. And I think the reason why I was looking, and I wasn't really looking at Joe Milton, there was a wide receiver for Tennessee that people were saying might go to the Dallas Cowboys. So I was looking at Tennessee, and when I saw Joe Milton, I was like, this Joe Milton kid is pretty good. This Joe Milton kid is pretty good. And I will not be surprised if we start hearing stories of the Cowboys saying that they had Joe Milton on their draft board in 2024 when he came out. I will not be surprised if we start hearing that. Jane Ward, what's going on? How's my Dallas Cowboy preacher company doing? Oh, we doing well. Appreciate you. Lonnie, what's going on? Patriots fans sick right now. Man, I gotta look and see what they're saying. Yeah, I gotta look. That's what I'm gonna try to find out. What are the Patriots fans saying about this? Because I'm just telling you, I don't understand unless they're getting a quarterback in the draft. Why would you keep Joshua Dobbs and let Joe Milton III go? I'm just telling you, Joe Milton III looked really good for them. He really did. I really want to see what the I'm gonna see if we can find some of what the what some of the New England media is saying, and see what some of the New England media is saying about Joe Milton III going to the Cowboys. All right, let me see. Okay, this was something here. Let's see. I found something called the Pat's Pulpit. Let me see what they're saying about this. And again, Joe Milton is an older quarterback, and I know we're saying that 25 isn't old, but he was an older quarterback coming out of college. An older quarterback coming out of college. He's 25, and by the time he would see the field for the Dallas Cowboys, unless there is some unforeseen thing that we're going to see, praying Dak Prescott stays healthy for the next 4 years. So by the time he would be on the field for the Dallas Cowboys, he would be, 30 years of age? 30 years of age is our hope. 35 years of age. Well, he'd be 29 years of age. 28 at the least. So saying he's a Dak Prescott replacement could possibly be. He could possibly be. But again, by the time he hits the field for the Cowboys, he'd probably be ready to go. I mean, he'd probably be fantastic because sitting up under Dak Prescott, learning the system, By the time he hits the field for the Cowboys, he could probably be the quarterback for the Cowboys if he's 28, 29. By the time he takes over for Dak Prescott, he could be the quarterback for the Cowboys for at least 4 years. He could be a bridge quarterback for the Cowboys, once Dak Prescott retires as a Cowboy. But let me see here. I want to see what some of these people are saying over in New England about this before we move to the Cowboys side. Let me see. Now, let me just give you an idea of what this guy looks like. Let me give you an idea of what he looked like. So this is from the Patriots pulpit. Now, from what they're saying, of course, the Patriots were trying to get a 3rd round pick, and I was like, no way. No way. You put pressure on them. If they want to get rid of Milton, you let them get rid of Milton. But a 5th round pick for Milton is incredible. Says here, the 193rd selection last April, Milton spent a majority of his rookie season as the Patriots' 3rd sitting quarterback behind Drake May and Jacoby Brissett. However, he did extensive action. He did see extensive action in his in-game debut in Week 18. And it says here, Milton entered the Patriots season finale against the Buffalo Bills in the early first quarter and completed 22 of 29 pass attempts for 241 yards with a touchdown, each as a thrower and a runner. New England ended up winning 23-16 to improve to 4-13 on the year. And so from everything that I know about Joe Milton III, well, whenever he's got his opportunity, I mean, he's looked pretty good. I thought he looked really good in the preseason. I could be going crazy, but when I saw the little that I saw him in the preseason, I thought he looked fantastic. David J., appreciate that super chat. Yes, sir. Appreciate it, David J. He said, I just saw the number of subs you have. Dang. He said, you hit 8.6 thousand fast. I subbed when you hit 1.5 thousand, and that was a few months ago. Keep up the great work, man. To God be the glory. Yes, sir. People like you, man, y'all keep supporting me. And so people keep coming. So, hey, y'all keep supporting me, man. And I'm praying that by the time we get to the football season, we're somewhere around 15 to 20,000, man, and we're going to explode. We are going to explode during the football season. But I appreciate you once again. Tyrese Tucker, what's up? I feel good about this. Oh, we have to. We have to. I'm telling you, man, this dude, Joe Milton III, is no joke. He's good. He's good. I think he's going to be really good. DJ Wingman, Joe Milton is a beast. One of the best moves this offseason. Size, good arm, and accuracy. Yep. I'm telling you, DJ, I agree with you. When I saw him play at Tennessee, what you just said is exactly right. Size. He's a big dude. 6'5", 246. He's a big dude. Good arm. Yes. Very good arm. He can throw the deep ball. No problem. Accuracy. Dead on. Dead on with this guy. Dead on. He's going to be great for the Cowboys. He's going to be great for the Cowboys. When you talk about an upgrade, man, this is an upgrade out of this world. Let me tell y'all something. And I'm not dissing Cooper Rush. Anybody been following me kind of know where I am on Cooper Rush. Joe Milton III is a huge, enormous upgrade over Cooper Rush. Enormous upgrade over Cooper Rush. Enormous. As much as I like Trey Lance and wish that somebody would get him and let him get some reps, this is an enormous upgrade over Trey Lance. An enormous upgrade. Joe Milton III is one of these players that when he does play, you watch what I tell you. He's going to be exciting. He's going to be exciting. And I'm praying that the Dallas Cowboy hater part of the fan base won't be screaming his name every time there's a mistake by Dak Prescott. But he's going to be incredible for the Cowboys. I'm just telling you. I was a little bit surprised that he came out. I was a little bit surprised when looking at him. I was actually surprised that he was only a 5th-round draft pick. I was actually surprised. Let me see if I can see. Let's see if we can find draft profile on this guy. I was really surprised when he came out that he only went in the 5th. I really was. But this just goes to show you about the draft and things of that nature, because these people are very strange in the draft. They are. You know, some of these quarterbacks like this guy, they really fall through the cracks. And it doesn't really make a lot of sense to you sometimes. You're just kind of wondering, like, why is this guy falling through the cracks like this? And the issue is he played in college 6 years in college. Yeah, 6 years in college, and I'm thinking because of maybe the COVID thing, he played an extra year. But you look at his career also, and this is probably another reason why he didn't go as high as you would probably think he would, looking at his ability. He was redshirted in 2018, played in 4 games as a reserve. Played in 4 games as a reserve in 2019. He played in all 6 games with 5 starts. And then in 2021, he played in 8 games with starts in the first 2 games. Won a starting job in camp, but was injured versus Pittsburgh, and was a reserve for the rest of the season because of the strong play of Hendon Hooker. And this happens sometimes. You get a great quarterback or you get a great player, they get injured, and college is a factory for great players. College is a factory for great players. The backup can be as good as the starter in college. They just roll like that sometimes. 2022, played in 9 games with 2 starts for the injured Hendon Hooker. And then in 2023, he started 12 games. He had 20 TDs and 5 interceptions. So I'm telling you, man, this guy he's a lot better than people understand. 7 touchdowns on the ground. He is a lot better than a lot of people think. Look at the overview on him. Rare physical specimen with the proverbial arm talent to make all the throws. I 100% agree. Just watching him at Tennessee, I cannot remember who that wide receiver was that year that I was looking at that was just incredible for Tennessee. And I was looking at this wide receiver because, again, they were saying he might go to the Cowboys, and of course he didn't go to the Cowboys. And this dude was killing it out there. He was absolutely killing it. It said, but he's prevented from doing so by a lack of timing, accuracy, and touch. It says Milton is gifted with a cannon for a right arm, and can throw the ball as hard or as far as you want. His fastballs are often inaccurate and difficult to catch for moving targets, and he was wildly inconsistent locating his deep throws. He can elude pressure, extend plays, and put jaw-dropping highlights on the tape. But he's never been able to mature his game from splashy to consistent. He's primarily a single-side reader who struggles to improvise with his eyes. The physical ingredients could get him drafted on day 3, but his lack of development over 6 seasons discourages his projection, and that's the issue. He was in college for 6 seasons, and he didn't get the opportunity to develop, and he probably would have developed, but he got the injury. And because he got the injury, that set him back as being the starter. Hendon Hooker is the starter, and so now you get the issue where he doesn't get to really start until his last season. So, this is one of the reasons why I say that he will be a Dak Prescott replacement down the road. Down the road. He's a playmaker, but you're probably looking more down the road. So, and Dak wouldn't be worried regardless, because Dak is very confident in who he is. But again, this is a very good pickup for the Cowboys. The Cowboys can develop him over the next few years, and by the time Dak get ready to get out of here, Joe Milton III can be a 3 or 4 year bridge, maybe even 5, depending upon his development. He could be the bridge quarterback for the true young replacement of one Dak Prescott. But again, his strengths, elite size, arm strength are both well beyond positional norms. Yeah, throws blazing heat to beat coverage in tight windows. Delivers long off-platform throws with the flick of the wrist. Will stand his ground and take punishing hits to make the throw. Able to keep eyes downfield while definitely sliding around pocket pressure. Posted 32 touchdowns against just 5 interceptions over 3 seasons at Tennessee. Strong against potential sacks and escapes the pocket to extend the play. Weakness, disturbing lack of placement and timing as a deep ball passer. Completed just 38.6% of his throws beyond 10 yards. That's very interesting right there. But again, I think that could easily be improved with just working with him as a backup behind Dak Prescott. Struggles with anticipatory throws, running receivers into collisions, telegraph throws between the hashes, giving safeties an easy jump on the ball, desires to throw the ball through receivers rather than deliver with touch, inconsistent tying his feet to eyes and squaring to his targets, frequently forces moving targets to break stride to make the catch. This is Joe Milton III. And again, I'm not mad at this selection by the Cowboys. I'm not mad at this selection by the Cowboys. I think this is a great pickup for the Cowboys. I do. He's a huge upgrade at backup quarterback. And I really want to see, how does he push Will Grier? How does he push Will Grier? Because I'm going to tell you something about Will Grier. Don't sneeze at Will Grier. Will Grier is going to be balling when he comes out this year for the Cowboys at the backup quarterback position. So the Cowboys, when you look at what they have at backup quarterback, today the Cowboys officially got better. They did. They did. John Jones, what's going on with you? Alex, what's going on? Good to see you. Jeanette Rogers, what's going on with you? Eminem, what's up? He said, why in the world would the Patriots draft the quarterback in the first? Of all the things they are least likely to happen, that is the most. Eminem, I am a little bit surprised, though, that they traded Joe Milton III and kept Joshua Dobbs. So I'm a little bit shocked on that. Eminem said they messed up letting us get Milton, though. Yeah, Milton's gonna be nice. Yeah, Milton's gonna be nice. Todd Church said facts and amen. Yeah. What up, Pure Gaming? I'm ready for the season. The Cowboys are not playing. Oh, me too. I'm ready for this thing to get going. Happy Thursday. Yes, what's going on, Sexy Suze? Fancy. He said this is a dang joke. 2 bum quarterbacks. Nah. I know how I go with you, Fane. What's going on with you? Lee Time. I guess I missed the G. Did we trade for Joe Milton? We traded for Joe Milton. The Cowboys traded for Joe Milton III. And so what I'm doing is I'm kind of scouring the internet, trying to figure out, kind of what is the temperature of the New England fan base, trying to see what the temperature is of the New England fan base, seeing what they're saying about Joe Milton. Let me see. Okay, so this looks like this is someone for the New England Patriots. Let me see what they're saying. And it looks like that there were some people who wanted him to go to the New York Giants. All right, let's read some more stuff on this Joe Milton, just to kind of get some of the Cowboys fans who may not be familiar with Joe Milton III. I'm just going to read some of the things that people have been writing about him. It says many New York Giants fans have banged the drum this offseason for the team to acquire Joe Milton from the New England Patriots as a potential quarterback of the future. Yeah, there are some people who kind of know what this guy is. They kind of know what he is. It says Milton, it says, well, that dream has now been dashed as the Patriots have traded Milton to the Dallas Cowboys, along with a 7th-round pick in exchange for a 5th-rounder. So this is good news. I thought the Cowboys just gave up a 5th-rounder and was done, but the Cowboys got a 7th-round pick also for Joe Milton. Man, that's a win-win. So you don't lose draft capital. I mean, you still got your draft pick, even though it's going to be back in the 7th. But Joe Milton, in my estimation, is better than any backup quarterback the Cowboys were going to get back in the 5th, 6th, or the 7th. Joe Milton is probably better than any quarterback they would have got in this draft, even in the 4th or even the 3rd. I wonder where would Joe Milton go in this draft. I'm confident in saying that I think the Cowboys, as it applies to Joe Milton, I don't think they would have got anything better if they're back there in the 5th, 6th, and the 7th. So Joe Milton is a great pickup for the Cowboys. It says Milton, a 6th-round pick by the Patriots a year ago, now will back up Dak Prescott. It says Diana Rossini reported that multiple teams were interested in Milton. She did not specify if the Giants were among those teams. It don't matter now. Milton opened eyes in Week 18 by completing 22 of 29, 75.9% for 241 yards and a touchdown as the Patriots upset the Buffalo Bills. New England, though, drafted Drake May, number 3 overall last season, and he is their quarterback of the present future. Now, I'm just saying this, in my opinion, based on what I've seen with my eyes with Joe Milton. This, to me, was a mistake by the New England Patriots. They should have kept Joe Milton and let him continue to push Drake May. This is one of those type of moves, to me, that when you have a starting quarterback, you don't want him to feel threatened by a quarterback on the roster. Because Drake May, young quarterback, they want him to be the future. I just believe Joe Milton was challenging that. I believe Joe Milton was challenging that because when I saw him in the preseason, I was shocked because I was like, New England might ought to really consider this guy. Maybe this guy could challenge Drake May. This is one of those issues to me. It seems like they're trying to keep Drake May's psyche intact because I'm telling you, Joe Milton will make any quarterback, a young quarterback especially, he'll make a young quarterback look at him and say, he's the backup. He's the backup. Let me tell you something. He's going to walk into the camp for the Cowboys. And this may even be something that Dak Prescott needs. Because Dak Prescott is even going to look at Joe Milton. I guarantee he's going to look at Joe Milton in training camps and go, whoa. Whoa. And guys like that, when you see guys who are good, a lot of people don't understand this type of thing. You want people behind you to be good. You want them to be great because iron sharpens iron. You want great players behind you. Great players will push you to be even better. Now, there's no chance of Joe Milton taking Dak Prescott's spot. There's no chance of that. But at the same time, if he's your backup, let me tell you what you're thinking in your mind. I do not want this guy on the field. That's what you're thinking in your mind. I don't want this guy on the field. I don't want people to see what he is. I want to be better than him. Even though your job is secure, this is your thought process. I want to be better. I want to make sure at every rep, I want to get all the reps I can, and I want to be better than him when he is on the field. I want to be better than him at every rep. Because you want to create. Do y'all remember last night what Brian Schottenheimer said? They want to create a competition atmosphere. I said this when I first saw some of the free agents they were picking. I said the Cowboys are doing something they have not done in years. Create a competition atmosphere at camp. Create a competition atmosphere. Create an atmosphere of where guys who are behind even your starters, they're good. To where your starters look at those backups and go, man, I got to make sure every snap I get in practice, I got to be crisp. I have to be precise. I have to be on point. So for as good as people say my backup is, they look at me and they say, I'm better. I'm better. This is what you want. This is what you want. Joe Milton III, for all intents and purposes, Joe Milton III, while there will be no chance of him taking Dak Prescott's place, Dak Prescott, because he's a human being, will look at Joe Milton III and say, I got to ball out. I have to ball out because y'all might not remember when the Cowboys were prancing Trey Lance all up and down through the facility. Anybody remember what Dak Prescott said? When people were talking about Trey Lance taking Dak Prescott's spot. Dak said he loved it. Dak Prescott said he wanted Trey Lance to push him. He wanted him to push him. Dak said this. I want him to push me. I want him to push me to be better. He said, I welcome it. I welcome it. Because when you have good players behind you, they do push you to be better. They push you to be better. They do. If they push you to be better, then how much better is the team? How much better is the team? It's an old biblical principle. Iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. It does. It does. And so you want that competition. Let me show you something that Dak Prescott said last year. This was May 23rd of 2024. Let me tell you something. Dak Prescott, this is why I absolutely love Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is one of these quarterbacks that you would want to be behind because Dak Prescott is so secure in his job. Dak Prescott is going to try and Dak Prescott is going to try to help you to be the best that you can be. He's very secure in what he is. Dak Prescott is going to encourage you to be good. Let me see if I can pull this up here where Dak Prescott is saying this. But a lot of people, man, they were talking about, man, Trey Lance, he gonna take Dak Prescott's spot, and boy, this, that, and the other. So this, that, and the other. And Dak Prescott wasn't even blinking. Wasn't even blinking. Everyone else was acting like, yeah, this dude taking Dak Prescott's spot and blah, blah, blah. Dak Prescott wasn't even blinking. Look at this. Let me see if this is, let me just read this point. I'm trying to quickly read while I'm on here with you guys. It says, confidence, an element Prescott identified as most crucial to a quarterback's success, is something Lance has exponentially grown in over the past year. So much better. This is Prescott. Prescott said of Lance's development from when he arrived at the end of the preseason last year to today. Dak Prescott said, I'm excited for where he is now. From the time that he came in, first and foremost, I think this position is 80% confidence. This is the starting quarterback talking about the quarterback that they're trying out to take his spot. And for all intents and purposes, the people who hated Dak Prescott, it was amazing to me. I want to know where they are now. Yeah, Trey Lance is going to take Dak Prescott's spot. Well, Dak Prescott wasn't thinking like, he wasn't thinking like that. Dak said, obviously understanding his last situation. He said, but for him to come in here, come in open arms, be such a great teammate, be accepted by all his teammates, and just really want to help this team. I think that's what's changed his mindset. Just come in with the mindset of working and how can I get better? Asking me questions, Coop questions, coaches questions. He's calling young guys to go throw. He works his butt off. Here it is. Look at Dak Prescott. He's pushing me. Dak Prescott welcomed it. Dak Prescott welcomed it. Joe Milton III is going to push Dak Prescott also. Just because of his overall size, arm talent. I mean, he's going to challenge Dak Prescott, not for his job, but he will challenge Dak Prescott in it. Man, when you get somebody like that comes into camp, man, you automatically say, man, I got to be better. I got to be better. Even with the big contract you get, you still say to you, man, I got to be better. I got to make sure that every opportunity I get my hands on the ball, I got to be better. Look at this. Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott says, I don't like to let other people get more reps than me, Prescott said. That's the built-in competitive nature of great players, good players. Trey's the person I've got to watch because he's trying to get up there in the rep count. I'm not sure if he was necessarily earning them, but I'm sure that he was flashing because watching some of training camp last year, one thing about Trey Lance, he's a little bit like Joe Milton. When you look at Trey Lance next to even Dak Prescott, Trey Lance is a big kid. Man, this dude is big too. I mean, he's not 6'5" big, but he's a big kid. You put him beside Dak Prescott and you're looking like, wow, okay, this dude is pretty big. And then you see some of the throws, and it's, especially when, the thing about Trey Lance, it happens to all these guys. It's one thing to be in practice when they're shooting rubber bullets. It's another thing when you get in the games and you're in the real bullets. And we're just talking about preseason for Trey Lance. And it was a little bit different out there. They said it's a testament to him and how he's putting into this. I've seen him and he's gotten better. Yeah, he can play. As long as he's getting better, I promise you I'm getting better. You want this type of competition. You do. Dak said, I encourage it. I hope he pushes me. He's going to have the same attitude about Joe Milton. He's going to have the same attitude about Joe Milton. I hope he makes people think. I know who I'll be, and I know who I am, and I'm confident in the person and the player that I am. I hope he pushes me. Now, why does he say, I hope he makes people think? Let me let you into the mind of this statement. He knows he's going to make people think is what Dak Prescott is saying. Because Dak Prescott understands he's been with the Dallas Cowboys at that time, 9 seasons. Dak Prescott understands something. There is a toxic part of the Dallas Cowboy fan base that will be saying that Trey Lance is better than Dak Prescott. Trey Lance should take Dak Prescott's spot. Trey Lance. And we know the moment someone sees a couple of good throws, wow, Trey Lance is better than Dak Prescott. Dak is saying, I hope they think that. I hope they think that, because that type of thought process will push me to make sure I'm better, to make sure that no matter how good Trey Lance looks, I look better. I look better. And we quickly saw that once Trey Lance kind of got into the live fire, Trey Lance was not as good as Dak Prescott. He was nowhere near as good as Dak Prescott. But nevertheless, Dak Prescott is also a psychology major. And one of the things that Dak Prescott was doing is that Dak Prescott was always trying to help Trey Lance develop. Because Dak Prescott in his mind, he ain't taking my spot. I'm better than him. And I'm not saying that Dak is saying that as a knock, but I'm saying that if there's someone I'm in that thinks they're competition for me, there is a thought in the back of my mind is I'm better than them. Because I'm me. I know what I can do. I know my skill set. I know how to use it to the best of my ability. I'm better than them. That's my thought process. And so, believe me, Joe Milton III is going to be great for the Cowboys. It's going to be great for the Cowboys. I hope we don't get to see him for the Cowboys, because if we do, that means that Dak Prescott is hurt. I hope we don't get to see him. But at the same time, knowing that he's the backup, oh, I'm good. I'm good. If something happened and Dak had to be down 2 or 3 games, I'm good. I'm confident Joe Milton could probably win 1 of the 3, maybe even 2 of the 3. Depending upon where we are in the schedule, he might even be able to win 3 of the 3. But I know he's going to be an exciting player for the Cowboys, so I'm pretty satisfied with this. Sexy Sue's, Milton will replace Dak. Content is going to get sickening. We should not be putting that out there for people to get the wrong impression. Facts. Dak is not going anywhere. No, he's not going anywhere. He will not be the Dak replacement. But, Sexy Sue's, think about what Dak Prescott said right here. I hope he makes people think. I hope he pushes me. See, Dak is very aware of Dallas Cowboy Nation, including the portion that we're talking about, Sexy Sue's. He is very aware of the portion that every time someone comes in and someone says that's a QB, someone says, oh, he going to take Dak Prescott's spot. Did we not say, let me not include we in there, Sexy Sue's. Did we not hear this the entire time that Cooper Rush was here? We heard this the entire time that Cooper Rush was here. He better than Dak Prescott. He better than Dak Prescott. Ooh, Dak's hurt. We're going to the Super Bowl now. Stop it. It's crazy nonsense. Dak understands this fan base. He understands what he's dealing with, and I appreciate that about Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott knows what Cowboys Nation is. He knows what it is. Mafia Productions, appreciate that super chat. Man, you just hit it right on the head. Joe is an upgrade from Rush, and Will is an upgrade from Lance. Quarterback room instantly upgraded from last year. Straight up facts. Straight up facts. I said it earlier, man. That quarterback room, boy, that thing got exponentially better. Exponentially better, man. Joe Milton is a huge upgraded quarterback for the Cowboys. Absolute huge upgrade. Let me get a couple more comments in here. I see some people I didn't see before. Eddie Lowe, what's going on? Eddie Lowe said he's literally not going to take nobody's spot but Will Greer. Yeah, we're not sweating it. Well, but again, Dak's going to make him better because that's the kind of man that Dak is. Big C from Tennessee, he said we have our Dak replacement in place. Yeah, 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years from now, he will be the bridge quarterback, I believe. He'll be the bridge quarterback depending upon how he develops. Depending upon how he develops, he'll be the bridge quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, let me tell y'all something. Cowboys could absolutely still shock everybody. They may still shock everybody. Again, Joe Milton is 25. I do not anticipate Dak Prescott getting out here at least for another 4 years. Cowboys may draft another quarterback in the next 2 to 3 seasons to actually be the Dak Prescott replacement. Because Joe Milton III, for all intents and purposes, will be about 28, 29 by the time Dak is deciding to leave, get up out of here. So he might not be the long-term replacement. Again, I think he may be the bridge replacement, the 29 to 32 year, 29 to 32. And that all depends on how he develops. I will not be surprised if the Cowboys go get another quarterback in the next couple of years. Because as much as Joe Milton III could be the man for the Cowboys may consider at about, because I said the Cowboys shouldn't get Dak Prescott's replacement to 2027. The reality is, maybe the Cowboys should go get a first-round quarterback in 2027. 2027, 2028. Maybe they should go get a first-round quarterback to take Dak Prescott's spot and let Joe Milton be the bridge. Because right now, Joe Milton is the backup. That's what he will be. But again, he got to beat out Will Greer. Don't let Will Greer fool you. He's going to push Will Greer too. So the question is, will he beat out Will Greer? Will he beat out Will Greer? quarterback room for the Cowboys is going to be interested in this offseason, man. I love it. But again, we have definitely improved. We have definitely improved at the quarterback position. Charlie G, he said, why do people get on YouTube and talk crazy? Dak and his price tag will not be replaced at all, but want to give Parsons $200 million as he don't score no points. Boy, you better stop talking facts on here, man. You better stop talking facts. Yeah, Dak is not going anywhere. Only way we see Milton is Dak get hurt. Dak isn't going anywhere. Not to mention, Charlie G, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say it early. I'm going to say it now. It's going to make the Dak Prescott haters mad, Charlie G. Dak Prescott's better than Joe Milton III. Dak Prescott is better than Joe Milton III. There's no conversation of Joe Milton being better than Dak Prescott. But what we are saying is that he's better than the backups we've had. I think Joe Milton is instantly better than Cooper Rush. Instantly better than Cooper Rush. Will Grier, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but he's better than Trey Lance. Quarterback-wise, maybe not ability-wise, but quarterback-wise. But Dak Prescott is the man, and if Dak Prescott stays healthy, we're not worried about anything. And the one thing the Joneses have said, Charlie G, the money stays on the field. The money stays on the field. Yeah, Dak will not be going anywhere. Dak will not be going anywhere. But again, we're better at backup quarterback than we were yesterday. Better than he was. 70s fan said he didn't put an incredible amount of points at Tennessee. Yeah, and again, I didn't watch him like that, but there was a wide receiver. Can't remember who it was, but a lot of people were talking about him. But some of the things I saw, he was good. Eddie Lowe, I just said it. You said Dak's replacement is still in college. I think the same thing, that he may be a bridge quarterback, but we got to see what he's going to be. But again, I wouldn't be shocked if the Cowboys in a couple of years, they go draft the first-round quarterback. He's pretty old already when you're talking about quarterback years. He's already pretty old. And when you hit the age he's hitting, that kind of is, I mean, by the time we see him, that's kind of backup age. If you haven't already been a starter, that's kind of what you would call backup age. That's not what you call starting age. It's not. It's not what you call starting age. But again, I'm glad when I look at the ability that he has. I'm confident that he will be a better, and you're saying it, Eddie Lowe, he's going to be a better backup quarterback. So the situation is great. The situation is great. Joshua Jackson, what's up? He said, in a pro system at Michigan, Milton floundered. In a gimmick offense in Tennessee, he was mediocre. Had he not had great physical tools, he would not have been a sixth-round pick. These are the facts. I'm going by what you're saying, Joshua. I'm going to go by what you're saying. I saw him in college. I saw the flashes. He's a big guy, big arm. But again, I didn't really analyze the games like that. Better backup than what we've had. So I'm good. I'm good. Oh, yeah, I believe Milton could beat the Commanders, too, because Trey Lance almost beat him. Milton on a rookie contract, so he's a low-risk move. Yeah, very low risk. Low risk, high reward. And again, Eddie Lowe, everybody else, you know the funny thing is? He still got to beat out Will Grier. Don't sleep on Will Grier. He got to beat Will Grier. And Dak, we ain't worried about him being... We ain't worried about him beating Dak. Dak is better than Joe Milton III every day of the week. We're not worried about him beating Dak. But again, the conversation I showed you that Dak had about Trey Lance, and you think about what great players do. Great players put things in their minds that makes them better. And again, Dak Prescott understands Cowboys Nation. He understands the foolishness that's going to go on in Cowboys Nation. Dak Prescott is going to, in his mind, I got to be better than Joe Milton. He is better than Joe Milton. He knows he's better than Joe Milton. But he also knows I got to put everything I put out there has got to be my best, which he's already thinking like that. But again, you people who understand competition, it pushes you. It pushes you in ways that you want to be pushed. It pushes you in ways that you want to be pushed, especially if there's somebody who, people may say, hey, man, he's pretty good. Oh, you think he's pretty good? Okay, don't forget, I'm here. Let me show you what I am. So the thing I love about Dak Prescott, the man has no fear. Dak Prescott has no fear. And definitely no fear of Joe Milton. Dak Prescott's going to bring him in under his wings. Dak Prescott, I will not be surprised when Dak Prescott takes out the offense. He takes out some of the players on the offense, typically takes them out on some type of trip, and they go and they train and, they kind of get their camaraderie built. Joe Milton III is going to be right along with him. Dak is going to be trying to bring him along. So this is the kind of quarterback we have, and this is one of the reasons why I love Dak Prescott. Mafia Productions. I wouldn't dismiss the idea of them drafting Manning, depending on our draft spot at the time. Mafia Productions. I wouldn't be surprised either if they got an opportunity to get Manning. I wouldn't be surprised either. And so, again, we're going to see what he looks like in training camp. But, again, I think he'll be looking good in training camp. Blue Star, what's up? He said, I'm watching on my lunch break. Yes, sir. Appreciate your support, man. Appreciate you. Gene Ward. Let me see what Timothy Govan said here. My man, what's up, Timothy? Jerry needs to stop messing around with Parson. Get Trey Hendrickson and sign him to a long-term deal. Timothy, I've been saying this. A Trey Hendrickson trade. I'm just telling you. A Trey Hendrickson trade would be incredible for this team. Absolutely incredible. Especially when you look at it's a $21 million, $8 million guaranteed for this year. Man, I'd give him an extra 2 years. I'd sign him to a 3-year deal if I was Cowboys. I'd give him a 3-year deal somewhere around $60, $70 million. Maybe I'll give him like $40 million guaranteed with incentives. See if I can get him somewhere around there. Trey Hendrickson would be incredible. But again, as it pertains to Michael Parsons, I would say probably get ready for that signing incoming here in the next 2 weeks. And I'm going to tell you something that I absolutely appreciate about what Jerry and Steven are doing. I don't care what anyone says about Jerry and Steven. They are doing things differently this year. And the thing that I'm encouraged by, look at what they do. They've already been talking about this Joe Milton thing. Michael Parsons, people keep talking about Michael Parsons, the little thing with the agent going on. And then what do the Cowboys do this morning? Boom. Pull the trigger on Joe Milton. This is what you do, man. You keep working. Just keep working. Let everything else work itself out. Just keep working. Keep working on the deals. Keep working on improving the team. They improved the team this morning. For all intents and purposes, they improved the team. So now we don't have to worry about going in the draft. The Cowboys looking at a quarterback thing. Done. Done on the quarterback thing. Now we can go in this draft and focus. Round 1, wide receiver. Round 2, running back. If Ashton Jeanty happens to be there, he's not going to be there. If Ashton Jeanty is there at 12, you pick Ashton Jeanty. If Ted McMillan is there at 12, I'm sure the Cowboys are going to pick Ted McMillan. But I'm telling y'all, Emeka has been on my radar and Travion Henderson for the last few weeks. I'm telling y'all, after looking at Luther Burden III's tape, if y'all haven't looked at Luther Burden III, do not be shocked. Do not be shocked if the Cowboys get Luther Burden III. Do not be shocked if they trade back and get Luther Burden III. Don't be shocked. Do not be shocked. Luther Burden III is going to be a problem in this league. And again, he might be a problem in this league because of his attitude. He might be a problem because of that too. But again, boy, the talent level. Whew. Luther Burden III, from all the tape I've seen, he's the most complete, explosive wide receiver in this draft. The thing that detracts from him the most is the attitude. But if you put his tape on, let me tell you something. If you put on Luther Burden III's tape against your favorite wide receiver, boy, you're gonna be disappointed. You are going to be disappointed if you put on Luther Burden III's to tape against your favorite wide receiver. But again, you start thinking about Ted McMillan. Ted McMillan is probably one of the safest wide receivers you're going to be able to get in this draft. He's a pure, unadulterated wide receiver. Not explosive. I'm not even going to say not as explosive. Not explosive at this point in time. But what you are going to get, he's got Spider-Man hands. Spider-Man hands. He's 6'5". He's going to be a big target. Even without separation, Tedero McMillan is going to be able to catch over smaller defensive backs. It's no such thing when you got a guy that big as a tight window unless you got a big cornerback. But let me tell you something. As far as my understanding is, you don't typically get the 6'5" cornerbacks. These guys are hovering around the 5'11", 6'1". Ted McMillan is going to be a problem for defensive backs. He'll be easy to see running in those zones. He'll be an entirely red zone. He'll be a red zone threat. The corner routes, the fade routes. Ted McMillan is going to be, if he's there at 12, I'm sure the Cowboys are going to get him. He's a great pure wide receiver. I won't be mad if the Cowboys get him. But I'm telling you, do not mark Luther Burden III off your list. Do not mark him off the list. I will not be surprised if the Cowboys try to trade back and get him. Alex said, I've been seeing online that Jerry robbed the Patriots. A 5th-round pick for Milton was a steal. They looked at him as a franchise quarterback. Oh, yeah. Alex, I'm still confused at why the New England Patriots were willing to trade him. In my mind, without hearing the explanation, this seems like a Drake May move to me. This sounds like the type of move you make that, based on what we saw last year in the preseason, based on the last game of the season, and Joe Milton being in his second season, coming into the training camp. Because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Drake May injured? I thought Drake, I thought he got injured or something like that. Maybe it's the Minnesota quarterback I'm thinking about. But I'm thinking as it applies to Drake May. Well, Joe Milton come in training camp balling. Younger quarterbacks don't think like Dak Prescott. Younger quarterbacks don't think like Dak Prescott. And you never know. He might have played so well that maybe there would have been tremendous pressure for them to say, hey, start him over Drake May. Seems like more of a Drake May confidence issue. But I could be totally wrong. Maybe they saw some things and said, we don't want him to be the backup quarterback. I don't know. But I'm just absolutely surprised that they traded him. I am. I'm surprised that they traded him because I just think he would have made a great quarterback, a backup quarterback for the New England Patriots. But hey, they want to give him up. It's our game. It's our game. Joshua Jackson, I like what you're saying here. These are some of the things that they were talking about with Milton. Anticipation and accuracy and a level head are all traits I put above a cannon arm. And Milton has none of those traits. Mike Vrabel moved him for a reason. That's all I'm saying. That, and that's the thing that without hearing a lot of things, I would love to hear the explanation of why they moved him. But again, if you look back at the article that we read earlier, hey, there were a lot of teams interested in him. Issue is they were not interested in a third. They were probably thinking more that if you got him for a sixth, we'll give you a sixth. Cowboys, because they got multiple fifth-round picks, I thought we were going to be picking 4 times in the fourth round. Looks like we're going to be picking 2 times in the fourth round now. 4 times in the fifth round. Now we're going to be picking based on what they've traded. I'm thinking 2 times in the fifth round. I got to look at that update. But the Cowboys were able to get a 7th round in return. So the Cowboys probably offered 1 draft pick better than what everyone else was offering for one Joe Milton III. Yeah, it sounds like they were offering 1 better as this starts going down the news line. But again, Oh, this is a great pick for the Cowboys. I think it's a great trade for the Cowboys. It is. Because at the end of the day, if Dak Prescott is what we think he's going to be, we won't even see Drake May. Only time we'll see Drake May is in the preseason. Or if we're in a game, and even then, I put the caveat on this. Still has to beat out Will Grier. He still has to beat out Will Grier to even be the backup quarterback. So will he beat out Will Grier? Pure Gaming said, OBJ had an attitude, but he played hard. I think if you have attitude and don't perform, it's 10 times worse. Example, Kadarius Toney. And you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say something, Pure Gaming. Luther Burden III is going to be a monster in this league. Luther Burden III is a natural. When you look at everything about him, it's natural. It's natural. And somewhere he's got to be coachable. Because when you watch this dude run his routes, he's got to be coachable. So somebody's showing him something. Luther Burden III looks absolutely fabulous. He does. I mean, people tell, oh, yeah, he's a diva. I'm not going to disagree with you. But on tape, he looked fabulous. I'm sorry, Luther Burden III, man, I had not watched the tape on him. When I watched the tape, I'm like, oh, no, man. I don't know if there's a wide receiver. Y'all tell me. I don't think there's a wide receiver out there that has better tape than Luther Burden III. I'm sorry. I don't think there's a wide receiver out there that has better tape than Luther Burden III. I don't. I'm sorry. You put Luther Burden III's tape against your favorite wide receiver in this draft, boy, you're going to be sadly disappointed. You're going to be disappointed because Luther Burden is going to make him look bad. The way he gets in and out of breaks, the change of direction, the speed, the feet, the hands, boy. Luther Burden III going to be a problem in this league, I'm telling you. Whoever takes a chance on Luther Burden III, they may be managing him off they may be having to manage him off the field, and I'm not sure if that's anything to do with crimes. Terrell Owens was one of those wide receivers. I don't know what happened to Terrell Owens after he left the San Francisco 49ers, but he became one of these players that you really had to manage. But on the field, I still say Donovan McNabb cost the Philadelphia Eagles a Super Bowl against the New England Patriots because Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens didn't really get along. The New England Patriots didn't even have an answer for Terrell Owens with a broke leg. Anybody who watched that Super Bowl, it's a travesty that Donovan McNabb didn't just keep feeding Terrell Owens. They had no answer for him. They had no answer for Terrell Owens. New England couldn't stop him. Only thing that stopped him was Donovan McNabb. But he's one of those players you are going to have to manage. But if he gets on a team that can manage him, whoo, man, this dude's going to be crazy. Timothy Govin, he said, I'd rather have Hampton, Henderson than Genty, less wear and tear. Let me tell you something. My preferred back in this draft, Timothy Govin, Travion Henderson. Travion Henderson is my selected back in this draft. Mike McCain, they got him listed at 6 feet tall. They got him listed at 6 feet, but I agree with you. If you're talking about the Dak-friendly receivers, Jerry is saying that those are the 6'2" and above guys. That's one of the reasons why I believe that they're going to, if Ted McMillan is there, Ted McMillan will be the pick. If Ted McMillan is not there, I think that Emeka will be the pick. And I think we'll see Emeka and Travion Henderson. I think they will be the matchup. I think they'll be the matchup. I think they'll be the two that the Cowboys get. But again, as I think about Ted McMillan, I told you last night, I'm really starting to realize, based on what Brian Schottenheimer said, they're hoping that Paris Campbell can be their second speed wide receiver. that he can be the true guy that when they bring in, other than Kevontae Turpin, somebody with more size, that he can come in and be a part of the game plan. They're looking at him as the speed. So Ted McMillan, he'll be the perfect tool for the Cowboys because he'll definitely move the chains for him. Ted McMillan is going to move the chains, no doubt about it. Timothy Govan said again, Burden and Lamb won't work together. Boy, you know what? That's another thought process too, because, boy, this dude Burden, boy, he may come in and do more than push CD Lamb. He may do more than that. I don't know. Robert M., he said, that's what I've been saying for the last 2 months. Genty has 594 carries in the last 2 years, just saying. TreVeyon Henderson is the man, I'm telling us. That's who I would be looking at. I would be looking at TreVeyon Henderson. But again, let me see if I can find some more stuff on Luther Burden III. What are the New England Patriot fans saying about the trade? Yeah, I kind of want to see what they're saying about the trade. Let's see. All right, let's see if we can look. I got a couple of websites. Let's look at a couple of more things and see what some of these people are saying. Man, let me tell you something, boy. You think some of the people in the Cowboys Nation is crazy? Boy, when you start going and seeing some of the stuff that these other people be saying about their teams, man, these people be going crazy with some of the stuff they be saying about their teams, man. It is funny to me. Let me see here. All right, so this is going to be interesting. This is some of what the national media is saying about Joe Milton. Now, it says in the end, the Patriots got a mild gain in draft capital in exchange for a player without a clear path to consistent playing time in New England. Here's what they're saying nationally about the trade. It says, Albert Breer said, Dallas moved a pick down 46 slots to land Milton. Bill Simmons, the Ringer, says, the Pats needed to trade Joe Milton because for the next 10 years, he was a walking billboard for how stupid the Crafts were last season. I want to check into this right here because this, to me, let me see what this is. I'm going to come back to this statement right here. I'm wondering if this is going along the lines that I'm saying as it applies to Milton and the Drake May thing. But let me go back. Skip Bayless has Joe Milton has great size, big potential, had a nice regular season finale for the Pats versus mostly Buffalo backups. But college career at Michigan, Tennessee was roller coaster ride of great and shaky, hence 5th round. Doubt he'll ever be Cooper Rush. But what backup is except Baltimore's? Come on, stop it. I forgot he was the one that thought that Cooper Rush, stop it. Well, I always thought it was better than Dak Prescott. Doug Keith says, I've been saying 5th round pick this whole time, so I'm not remotely surprised by the return. People throwing out a 3rd round pick were only setting fans up for disappointment. It was never realistic to get that return for Milton after one game. Okay? Phil Perry said, it's not a big return. Indicative of what kind of offers might have been out there for Milton. Also indicative of the team's desire to hold on to him. Okay. RJ Oshoa says, trading for Joe Milton is the perfect kind of way to address your backup quarterback situation. Well done on the Cowboys. Given that Milton still has 3 years of team control with his contract, this is exactly why this trade is brilliant in terms of context. And the Trey Lance one wasn't. Serious kudos to the Cowboys. Okay. Mike Reese, trade of Joe Milton III for modest draft pick return sparks a thought that it was driven as much by quarterback room dynamics as anything else. It clears the runway for Drake May. May and veteran Josh Dobbs, the lone quarterbacks now in the room. And again, this is where I see this. Think about this statement that Mike Reese says. This is where I am on this. It clears the runway for Drake May. Well, why would it clear the runway for Drake May if he's a starting quarterback? And if Drake May is better than Joe Milton III, why does he need the runway? Why does he need the runway cleared for him? This is kind of where I was. Why does he need the runway cleared? Is Joe Milton that much of a threat for Drake May? This is what I kind of looked at this as. I kind of look at it as this was one of those things for the psyche of Drake May. I could be totally wrong, but it seems like this is a psyche move for me. Mark Daniels, Mass Live, says going off in Week 18 game that resembled an exhibition wasn't going to boost anyone's trade value that much. Andrew Callahan, Boston Herald, Milton sees himself as a starter in the NFL, and this deal shows the market did not agree. His trade value was never what some in the media projected. Still, Milton gets his change of scenery, and the Pats add draft capital. Joshua Dobbs' arrival signaled the Patriots wanted a new backup in 2025 all along. Wishing the best for Joe. Okay. Here's Scooby Mageza. I don't understand why the Patriots were hell-bent on moving Joe Milton. Nothing wrong with having a good backup quarterback, and they traded him away, shaking my head. Again, this is where I am. I don't really understand why the Patriots traded Joe Milton. Because for all intents and purposes, and again, someone made a good point earlier, Mike Vrabel is the new coach. Mike Vrabel is the new coach. Maybe that has something to do with it. But I can't see where he's even seen enough of Joe Milton to where he would just say, we're going to go ahead and get rid of him. But again, I don't quite understand it either. Henry McKenna, the Joe Milton trade is a decent appreciation of a value for the Patriots. They took him in the 6th. By trading him to the Cowboys, they got a 5th back and they get back a 5th and a 7th. He wanted to trade too, which can make it harder to get a good return. Okay, I thought the Cowboys got a 7th. The Cowboys gave up a 5th and a 7th. I thought they got a 7th. Okay, I'll look at the whole return on that deal. A 5th and a 7th. I don't understand why they would do something like that if that's the case. But again, it just seems like they didn't want. It was obvious that they wanted to get rid of him. Says the Patriots signed Dobbs as their backup. It was clear Joe Milton was on the market. The Cowboys have been most interested from the outset, even telling reporters they were working on a quarterback trade. Now it's done. Milton is in Dallas. Emmanuel Acho, the Cowboys acquiring Joe Milton doesn't mean anything for Dak Prescott this year. That's obvious. But this does feel like a standard Cowboys starting quarterback origin story. Yeah, he could probably be the quarterback of the future, but still more of a bridge. The new Trump trade tariffs had no impact on the Cowboys acquiring Joe Milton. Stop it. From the Patriots today, per sources directly involved. Joseph Hoyt, Cowboys were likely to use a day 3 pick on a developmental quarterback. Instead, they use a day 3 pick to acquire Joe Milton, who has some intriguing traits. They'll also have him for 3 years. For comparison's sake, they gave him a 4th for 2 years of Trey Lance. So it looks like everybody is kind of in the same consensus that a lot of people, they don't really see this being Joe Milton being something that's just off the charts for the Cowboys. I think it's a great move for the Cowboys simply because he's better than I think probably anything they could have gotten in the draft this year, and definitely better than what they had last year in Cooper Rush, even though some may disagree. I think Joe Milton is going to he'll be a good backup for the Cowboys. And if everything goes right, we don't even have to worry about this. We won't even see him for the next 3 years. Marcus Mosher, he says, at $3.5 million over the next 3 years, and it only costs Dallas a day 3 pick, sign me up. Yeah. Andrew Siciliano says, Joe Milton was drafted in 6th, played so well. Week 18, he dropped the Patriots from number 1 overall to number 3. Then he gets traded with a 7th for a 5th. Okay, I thought the Cowboys got the 7th. It's been a busy 11 months. Boy, I'm laughing. They talk about he cost him that first round pick. Man, I'm laughing at that. That's funny to me. All right, but again, overall for me, Joe Milton, it's a good pick. What's going on at Fredo Morales? It's a good pick for the Cowboys, I believe. Timothy Govin, the film don't lie. With a new coaching staff, Milton may evolve. The Cowboys are very confident in their coaching staff. Very confident in their coaching staff. Timothy Govin, he says, not signing Jerry Milton. Danny, what's going on? I want Shedeur Sanders as quarterback, not Joe Milton. Yeah, Dallas was never getting Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, they were never getting Shedeur Sanders. C-Base, he said, I'm watching videos on him right now. Angie the Rebel Chicks. What's going on, Angie? Angie, what you think about this Joe Milton thing? Tell me what you think about Joe Milton. Eddie Lowe, that's what I thought too. Yeah, we got a 7th round pick for him. Yeah, I agree with you, Angie. Hit that like button. Y'all hit that like button. Yeah, we did get that 7th, Alex. Yeah, we got that 7th, so we good. Man, C-Base. Boy. I believe Trey Lance is going to kick himself in the butt. Now, let's understand something about Trey Lance. Trey Lance has gotten paid $34 million over his career. So I'm thinking that Trey Lance still probably has some pretty good money. But Trey Lance may be kicking himself in the butt for turning down the Cowboys when they came to him late in the season for a contract. He may be kicking himself in the butt. Mike McCain, he said the Cowboys essentially got Milton for free. They get one of the Cowboys' 5th round comp picks and gave the Cowboys their 7th round pick. So basically, we got a quarterback and a pick swap. Yeah, agreed. Yep, totally agreed. Dak owns filthy. He said back in the house. Angie said, I like him, but heard from other people he dropped balls a lot. Which one are we talking about, Angie? They can't be. They might be talking about our man Savion Williams. Alfred Morales. Milton could be a legit threat to Dak. Not possible. No, he's not going to be a threat to Dak. There are 231 million reasons why Joe Milton will not be a threat to Dak Prescott. Not only that, Dak Prescott's just better than Joe Milton III at this point in time. I don't know what he'll be in the future, but Dak is better than him. Because, one thing you got to be careful of, because we were talking about this last night, you kind of look at the stature of someone and you just go nuts. The size doesn't determine whether or not they're better than someone else. I mean, Trey Lance to me is a prime example. Trey Lance was bigger than Dak Prescott. I think the arm was stronger. The talent not on the arm is not better, but I think he might have had a stronger arm than Dak Prescott. He's definitely faster than Dak Prescott at this point in time. But then when you look at the play on the field, the quarterback position is one of those positions that the athletic ability can only get you so far. And the proof of this is Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are two of the most physically talented quarterbacks in the league. They are two of the most physically gifted quarterbacks in the league. And neither one of them have been to a Super Bowl. Neither one of them have been to a Super Bowl. Because when you get to the playoffs, these teams, they study you so well. They learn your tendencies. They learn your weaknesses. And their goal is, if we take away what that quarterback does best, can he beat us with his remaining skills? And again, this is what makes Jalen Hurts so dangerous. Jalen Hurts is not better than those quarterbacks. But the thing about Jalen Hurts, if you stop him from throwing, he's a pretty good runner. If you stop him from running, he can make a couple of passes. But the other thing the Eagles did to supplement, well, if you stop if you stop Jalen Hurts from running, we got a running back, maybe some of y'all have heard of him. We have a running back named Saquon Barkley. So if you stop him from running, now you got to stop Saquon Barkley from running. It's hard to stop Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. But again, when you think about Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, they are two of the most physically talented quarterbacks that we have in this league. And neither one of them, in the grand scheme of things, they haven't won anything. I mean, they literally had to cheat Lamar Jackson out of the MVP and give it to Josh Allen. The same way they cheated Dak Prescott out of the MVP last year and gave it to Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen shouldn't have that MVP that he has this year, but they gave it to him. But you can't give him a Super Bowl. He's going to have to win it. And if you ask anybody, would you take Josh Allen over? And I'm not even going to say Patrick Mahomes. Would you take Josh Allen over Joe Burrow? There is no universe I would take Josh Allen over Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Josh Allen. He's a better quarterback than Josh Allen because what you won't get from Joe Burrow in runs, you'll make up for in spades on throws. You'll make up for in spades on the way he reads defenses. You'll make up for it in spades with the quarterback stuff. It's the same thing if you said, hey, Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes in a vacuum. There's no universe where you're taking Lamar Jackson. Even if I put the tape on for you and showed you Lamar Jackson and showed you how much more physically gifted than he is than Patrick Mahomes. But then if you look at Patrick Mahomes, the throws, the smart runs, the putting on for the referees, but I digress. When you look at the way he can read defenses, you're taking Patrick Mahomes 10 times out of 10. And I'm probably in the minority on this. But even after watching Lamar Jackson over the years, I would still take Dak Prescott on a good team over Lamar Jackson. I'll take Lamar Jackson over Dak Prescott on a bad team, maybe. Because Lamar Jackson is probably going to be my only offense. But if you tell me we're going to put both of them on a good team, I'm taking Dak Prescott over Lamar Jackson, even with his physical ability. I'm taking Dak Prescott. And the reason why is I've seen Lamar Jackson with great teams. I've seen him with great coaching. I've seen him with good to great teams. I've seen him and he keeps failing on throws that he's making or them taking away his ability. You take away Lamar Jackson's running, what is he? Is he average? Is he an average quarterback without his legs? I'm just saying all of that to say when you look at the physical ability of quarterbacks, you have to be careful because the quarterback position is not just built upon physical ability. You got to have a lot of mental ability to play the quarterback position. And if you ask anybody about Dak Prescott in this league, they'll tell you he's probably one of the top. Dak Prescott is probably top 3 football mind in this league. Football mind, Dak Prescott is top 3. Top 3. I guarantee you a lot of these ex-quarterbacks, when they watch the tape on Dak Prescott, they'll tell you, you don't understand what you're seeing on tape that this guy's doing. You don't understand you don't understand. The problem with Dak Prescott has been, and we don't want to, the hating part of the fan base don't want to admit this part. Because a lot of the fan base or the toxic part of the fan base, they also get enamored in the physical ability of some of the quarterbacks they're seeing. Jaden Daniels, for example. We're watching something with Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is a good quarterback, but I'm not crowning a rookie quarterback off of one season. When you look at Jaden Daniels, what's carrying him is his physical ability. But I'm going to tell you something. The NFL has a way of neutralizing you. Keep on running. Keep on running. He already had a rib injury this year. He's a smaller quarterback. You keep on running in this league. Boy, this league has a way. This league has a way of really getting at a quarterback that runs the ball, unless you're one of these guys like Josh Allen, who's just so much bigger than a lot of guys he's going against, or you're Lamar Jackson, you're so much faster than a lot of guys that you're going against. But you keep on, it catches up with you eventually. And this is why Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, they got to figure out a way for them to get over the hump, not with their physical ability, but with their mental ability. That's what's hampering those teams. When you think about Dak Prescott knows everything that's going on around him. That's how good Dak Prescott sees the field. The problem with Dak Prescott is everything going on around him is not where it needs to be. The running game is not where it needs to be. The line is not where it needs to be. One wide receiver, that is not where we need to be. Where Dak Prescott is in his career right now, he's very cerebral. So now it is up to this coaching staff to understand, and I think Brian Schottenheimer fully understands, Dak Prescott is cerebral. So what do we do to help him succeed in what he sees? Because right now we don't have the stuff around him so that he can implement what he's seeing. And let me give you a prime example. You can't give the top surgeon in the world, you can't give him kitchen knives to do surgery with. If I give the top surgeon in the world kitchen knives to work with, he's not going to look like the top surgeon in the world. You're going to look at his work and you're going to go, the cuts are right. I mean, where he's cutting is right. I mean, it looks like he knows what he's doing. The cut is right, but the cut is not crisp. It's jagged. It's causing a little bit more damage than it should. Why would that be? The knives aren't sharp enough. The knives are too big. They're not made for small, precise cuts. Maybe there's a little damage in here because of we don't have the right instruments for the top surgeon in the world. How much you bet? The top surgeon in the world, he has the top tools in the world. He has the top tools in the world. This is where we are with Dak Prescott. We got to get Dak Prescott better instruments around him so that he can perform what he's seeing in his mind. What he's seeing in his mind. Dak Prescott is clearly seeing that he can do some things and beat some of these teams that we haven't beat. Problem is we just hadn't had around him what he needs to do it. The Cowboys seem like they're going in the right direction to do it. Joe Milton, he's insurance in a sense. I'm not mad at the Joe Milton trade. I'm not mad at it. The Cowboys are going to get a quarterback anyway. But again, Joe Milton is going to be one of these projects for the Cowboys over the next 3 years. They're going to see what he looks like. But again, I'm not going to be surprised if in 2027 or 2028, the Cowboys go in the draft and get them the true Dak Prescott replacement, which will more than likely be a first-round quarterback and not a project quarterback that Joe Milton is. But again, I'm good with Joe Milton. I'm good with Joe Milton. I think Joe Milton is going to be great as a backup quarterback for the Cowboys. I think he's great. I'm good. I'm good with it. Because again, at the end of the day, the expectation is we don't expect to see him play anyway. We don't expect to see him play anyway. We don't. Angie, got to do some research on him. I showed some things on him already. For the most part, you're going to be looking at 2024 tape on him at Tennessee. Or 2023 tape, I guess it would be at Tennessee. And then you'll be looking at a little bit of last year's tape at New England. But again, when I saw him in the preseason, Angie, I thought he kind of jumped off the tape. And maybe it's some of the stuff that they're saying about Joe Milton, that he's a very splashy type of quarterback. And again, I didn't study him over long periods of time. So again, this is probably very accurate when they're talking about he's a splashy quarterback. So maybe if you just look at his highlights only, you might be blown away. But then if you maybe look at his game in totality, then you may go, okay. But context is king on a lot of this stuff. So it's going to require some examination. But again, as a backup quarterback, I just think he's an upgrade. I do. I think he's an upgrade. Yeah, the guy in that article got that one wrong, but I'm good with him. And again, we looked at tape on Savion Williams. And the thing on Savion Williams, when we're talking about dropping the ball, the question is, Angie, and this is the part that the evaluators will have to dig into on Savion Williams. Is Savion Williams dropping balls because of a lack of concentration, or is he dropping balls because he doesn't have the hands? Now, where I'm disagreeing that it's not a hands issue, because one of the things that was pointed out the other day when we watched film on him that I thought was very interesting, he catches highly contested balls. How are you catching the highly contested balls? That can't be a lack of concentration. Or no, don't let me say it's a lack of concentration. It can't be that you don't have the hands. Because to catch contested balls, it requires you to have some pretty good hands. Because that's meaning, and we saw it for ourselves right there. Man, this dude snagged some crazy passes on two defenders, came down with the ball. We saw him reverse his direction at the last second and turn and contort his body and catch a pass in the end zone for a touchdown. So it can't be the hands. The drop balls for him seem to be a lack of focus, to where he's trying to turn up so quick that he's not looking the ball into his hands, tucking it, and then turning. It's like he's trying to survey his surroundings so that he can see where he's going to run when he makes the catch, before he makes the catch. You got to make the catch. And then you make a move and you go. So with Savion, I think that's what we're looking at. And I think there will be some coaches, they're going to do some serious work on Savion. Because again, for me, if it was Savion, if I was looking at bringing in Savion Williams, I'm going to have my wide receiver coach in on this conversation. And as somebody who, and don't get me wrong, I haven't trained wide receivers on no collegiate level or anything like that. But I have helped some young wide receivers. And one of the things that you start dealing with wide receivers, for example, my own sons, one of the things you start dealing with them on is you start trying to figure out, okay, why are you dropping the ball? Tell me why you're dropping it. What's going on? You look at the tape. You look at their eyes. You look at their head. You look at all these things so you can help them. Hey, I can tell you what's wrong. It's not that you can't catch. You're not going through the process of catching. And that's something that if you're not somewhat natural, you really have to be taught how to catch. You really have to be taught, hey, look it all the way in, hand placement, tuck it in. That's what I should tell my sons all the time. You have to make sure you look it in, tuck it in, and then you move. If you don't look it in, and some people they're trying to look around them too quick. You take your eye off that ball, man, it'll get there so quick, it'll hit you right in the face. It'll go through your hands, bounce off your shoulder pads. So wide receiver is one of those things that you got to really concentrate and make sure you go through the process of catching rather than just saying, I'm going to catch this and run the ball. That's the thing about Luther Burden. I'd like to see what they do with him. Mike McCain says, I think Brian Schottenheimer can absolutely fine-tune Milton. I think so, too. We got to remember Brian Schottenheimer is a 3 quarterbacks coach, so he knows what he's doing with quarterbacks. And again, Mike McCain, this may be one of those Brian Schottenheimer things. This may absolutely be one of those Brian Schottenheimer things too. C. Bates said Lamar Jackson is different. I don't care about Allen. I think he's overhyped. Yeah, and the problem is with Lamar, though, think about this. Who will not agree that Lamar Jackson is more talented than Dak Prescott? He hasn't done anything more than Dak Prescott. He hasn't done anything more than Dak Prescott but one playoff game. And if you look at his playoff losses, they're worse than Dak Prescott's. Lamar Jackson's playoff losses are worse. They're worse than Dak Prescott because his losses have come directly at his arm. It always seems to come down to a throw by Lamar Jackson. In watching some of these playoff losses, they have been on a throw that he's made. And I mean at a crucial, I'm not talking about second quarter, first quarter interceptions. No, crucial. Last drive throws. And even the throw that he made, a lot of people, they want to give him the benefit of the doubt because they don't want to put him in the category of Dak Prescott. But again, that wasn't good ball placement by Lamar Jackson. It wasn't. I think it was a poor coaching decision to even throw it to that tight end who had already been having problems that day. Too many things. Timothy Govan, he said, I need you to look at Brady Cook film. Luther Burden's quarterback. Okay. So you're telling me that the quarterback wasn't that good? Because I think that's one of the things that some people were saying on the film. What's going on, Ice Cold Cowboy? Hungry Heifer. Josh Allen played great in the playoffs. Big difference with Dak. No. This is one of Josh Allen's better years in the playoffs, Hungry Heifer. Stu, Josh Allen has had some absolutely great teams too. No, he's had some great teams. He hasn't gotten them over the hump. He's got what? He's got 5 more playoff wins than Dak Prescott. He's been to the AFC Championship twice. But with the talent that people say Josh Allen has, he should be Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen should be Patrick Mahomes by all intents and purposes, the way people talk about him in this league. They make every excuse for Josh Allen, every excuse, and give Dak Prescott no excuses. Nobody will even, if you ask people about the 2023 Green Bay game, no one will admit we had one wide receiver, had no run game, couldn't stop the run. We had safeties playing linebackers, but everybody says it was Dak's fault. Insanity. 555, the Bills are way better built to play the playoffs. They are. And these quarterbacks have had better teams than Dak Prescott, and we don't even want to admit that, but they have. The Buffalo Bills of Josh Allen has had better coaching and better players than Dak Prescott around him. Better coaching and better players. So has Lamar Jackson. Better coaching, better players. And, man, I'm telling you, it's a knock. And a lot of people, this is why they tried to give Lamar Jackson an out. But it is a knock on Lamar Jackson that the Baltimore Ravens went out and got him Derrick Henry, and he still couldn't win it. He still couldn't win it. How do you get Derrick Henry and you can't win you can't win it? The Buffalo Bills mauled him. Absolutely mauled him. They did. Hey, Hoodie, let me tell you, Dak Prescott it is one of the greatest snubs in NFL history. Dak Prescott numbers in 2023 with what he was working with. People don't even give him the credit, Hoodie. He did it with one wide receiver. In 2023, Dak did that with one wide receiver in a minimal run game and a defense that had been troubled pretty much the whole season. 12 wins and an absolutely incredible, and the issue is Dak Prescott could only get that 2023 team so far. When you get to the playoffs, I promise you, Whatever deficiencies you have, they get exposed in the playoffs. The moment you play a good team, they get exposed. And 9 times out of 10, the reason why the teams are in the playoffs is because they're actually good. I'm just telling us we don't admit this stuff about Dak Prescott. But again, the Joe Milton thing, hey, we're better at backup quarterback. Better at backup quarterback. He's not Dak Prescott replacement, and especially in the near future. He's not Dak Prescott's replacement, so we don't have anything to worry about. Alex said, gee, can you believe that some people have ranked Dak 10 to 15 best quarterback? They must have forgot how good he was in 2023, and Dak has never had a losing season. Disrespect is crazy. Man, let me tell you something. I can't name 5 quarterbacks better than Dak Prescott. Not in this league. I can't name 5 quarterbacks better than Dak Prescott. The only 4 you could possibly even name better than Dak Prescott. Patrick Mahomes. You're going to put him before everybody. Joe Burrow. I do not put Lamar Jackson nor Josh Allen above Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow with a defense. There was a quarterback in this league that a lot of people don't realize, Alex, was being called Patrick Mahomes' kryptonite, and his name was Josh Allen. They were calling Josh Allen Patrick Mahomes' kryptonite. There's Joe Burrow. There's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I can't name any other quarterback better than Dak Prescott. I can't name any other quarterback that has accomplished more than Dak Prescott. Beyond number 5. If they tell you Justin Herbert, what are they basing it on? What are they basing it on with Justin Herbert? What are they basing it on? He's not better than Dak Prescott. C.J. Stroud, outside of that rookie season, and we know there's been some things that have happened on that team. You can't say C.J. Stroud is not better than Dak Prescott. C.J. Stroud got Dak Prescott in his top 5. What quarterback could anyone name truthfully based on the tape and the stats? There is no other quarterback that you could possibly name that would be better than Dak Prescott at the 5 spot. Now, our problem is we keep letting the media determine who is the best quarterback. But if we're looking at the eye game, if we're looking at the tape, if we're looking at the stats, if we're looking at the tape and the stats, if we're looking at all these things, if we're looking at even the team around the quarterback, we may not accept this, but it's the truth. Dak Prescott, of those 4 quarterbacks, or the 5, the top 5 quarterbacks, the quarterback that has done the most with the least. Now we got a different order. If we look at the quarterback that has done the most with the least, Dak Prescott would be number 1. Joe Burrow, to me, would be number 2. Joe Burrow has played with trash offensive lines and trash defenses. This is the reason why Joe Burrow, they had one season where they really got over the hump in that Super Bowl season. But other than that, they have gave this man deficient defensive lines and deficient defenses. So we already know what Dak Prescott. What has Dak Prescott really had over the last, if you want to talk about the last 5 seasons? In every one of those seasons, it seemed like we were missing something. If we're not missing the running back, if we're not missing there's some injury on the line, or we're missing the linebackers, we don't have the wide receivers, something is missing. Something is missing. And it's not that we're going to clear Dak Prescott, because I do think that maybe the one game that people can really stake the claim on Dak Prescott as in it was his fault was the San Francisco 49ers. And I don't think it was the second one. I think it was more the first one when the Cowboys played San Francisco in Dallas. Even though if you look at everybody around Dak Prescott, and I'm talking about defensively too, but again, it's not that Dak doesn't share some of the blame. But when you talk about strength of team and completeness, Dak is one Joe Burrow is 2. I think Patrick Mahomes would probably fall at number 3. Patrick Mahomes has actually done something that no one else has done over the last few seasons. He has went to the Super Bowl without a top 10 defense. It's unheard of. Patrick Mahomes was able to do that with Andy Reid. And then I say what you talk about, maybe Lamar Jackson, then Josh Allen. You can't name based on performance. There is not any other quarterbacks in this league better than Dak Prescott. The only thing you're talking about is potential. You're not talking about what they've actually done. To say that Jaden Daniels is better than Dak Prescott is insanity. A lot of people will say things like Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is not better than Dak Prescott. He's not better than Dak Prescott, especially when you're talking about pure quarterback play. The only thing Jalen Hurts does better than Dak Prescott is run. That's the only thing he does better. He doesn't throw better. He definitely doesn't read defenses better. There is nothing that Jalen Hurts does better than Dak Prescott other than run, which that's a big part of his game, as a matter of fact. And not only does he run better than Dak Prescott, where I give the Philadelphia Eagles so much credit, the team matters that you put around the quarterback. The team matters. It does. The team matters because I'm telling you, Joe Burrow with a team would probably have more Super Bowls than Patrick Mahomes. I've seen them go head to head. I've seen what Joe Burrow looks like with an offense. I've seen what Joe Burrow looks like when you give him half a defense, half an offensive line. We've all seen it. Man, Joe Burrow for about 2 years before they started falling apart as a team, boy, Joe Burrow was crazy. Joe Burrow was crazy. We've seen what he looks like. What we haven't seen yet, and I'm hoping we're going to see it, and I do believe we're going to see it in the next 2 to 3 seasons. The rubber's going to meet the road on Dak Prescott. And I'm here for it. The rubber is going to meet the road on Dak Prescott. We're going to see exactly what Dak Prescott has been all about, finally. I think Brian Schottenheimer is the coach that he's needed. That they're going to try their best to build an entire regime around Dak Prescott. When you're talking about championship level quarterbacks, let's put Patrick Mahomes as an outlier. People don't understand what a championship quarterback needs. A championship quarterback needs a championship defense. A championship quarterback, go back and look at the championship quarterbacks. You go back and look at your favorite quarterback outside of Patrick Mahomes. Go back and look at your favorite quarterback. And don't focus on that quarterback. Go back and look at that defense. Go back and look at the defense. What did the defense do? How many sacks did the defense have? How many turnovers did the defense force? What did the defense do? Because when you go back and look at championship quarterbacks, the defense is actually going to be the key that lets you in on what really happened. What did the defense look like? What did the offensive line look like? Could they run the ball? What did they look like? That's when you start understanding a championship quarterback needs a championship defense. This is what the Cowboys are trying to build. Someone says, well, we only needed a touchdown against San Francisco. They held San Francisco to 19 points. Not enough. Someone says that is enough. No, it isn't. We lost. It's not enough. It's not enough. You want to be a championship team? You want a championship quarterback? You want to know why Jalen Hurts is a championship quarterback this year? Go back and check the tape. Go back and check the tape because I wonder if they couldn't have got a ferocious pass rush on Patrick Mahomes. I wonder what the game looks like. Wait a minute. I don't need to ask that question because I know what the game looks like. Because if I go back to the previous Super Bowl when they faced the Kansas City Chiefs put up 38 points on them. I know what it looks like. I know exactly what it looks like. A loss. A loss. And this year, Jalen Hurts didn't play as well as he played in that year. Jalen Hurts could not have beat the Kansas City Chiefs the way he played this year. Not if that defense didn't do what they did. If that defense didn't do what they did, he doesn't win that game. And this is why when you look at championship quarterbacks, we watch all these football movies, and boy, they make you think, man, this quarterback, and he did this, and he did that, and he did this, and they're just talking about quarterback. We understand they make the most money, so they get the most credit, and they get talked about more than they deserve, and sometimes they take stuff that they don't deserve. We get all of those things, but at the end of the day, go back and look at championship quarterbacks. You want to know why Terry Bradshaw got 4 Super Bowls? Go back and look at his defense. Go back and look at his defense. Go look at the running game. Go look at the offensive line. Go back and look at everything but Terry Bradshaw, and you're going to come back with a different conclusion. You're not going to say that Terry Bradshaw isn't good, because Terry Bradshaw was good. You're definitely not going to come back and say, man, Terry Bradshaw is like one of the best to ever do it. Probably not going to come back like that. Tom Brady, who I call the GOAT. Tom Brady is the GOAT of quarterbacks to me. Go back and look at his first 3 Super Bowls. Was it Tom Brady or was it defense? Which one was it? Now, if you started looking at him in the last 3 Super Bowls in New England, there were some great defensive plays that kept Tom Brady in position to do some of the magical things that he did. It was. I mean, a lot of people, you'll miss this stuff if you don't go back and watch it. You think about the Tampa Bay. He was loaded. Tampa Bay was loaded with talent that season. I mean, absolutely loaded. And the defense wasn't shabby either. They were loaded. Man, they went and got Antonio Brown, threw him over the top. They were loaded. We give these quarterbacks, and I understand why we do it, but if you talk to me about championship quarterbacks, go back and look at the defenses. Go back and look at the defenses. Anybody want to understand how Matthew Stafford? Anybody remember that Super Bowl? I do. I remember that Super Bowl. And there are some questions about that Super Bowl. That Aaron Donald sack on Joe Burrow. You go back and look at the tape. I don't think Aaron Donald timed that snap count. I think Aaron Donald got there a little bit early on Joe Burrow. And that was an offside more than likely. And you know what's so crazy? Anybody remember that Super Bowl? Jamar Chase was cooking Jalen Ramsey. Cooking Jalen Ramsey like ramen noodles up in this place. Jalen Ramsey had no answer for Jamar Chase. No answer for Jamar Chase. If Aaron Donald doesn't come across that line early, Joe Burrow, I promise you, sees Jamar Chase. Go back and look at that play. Man, he's probably 5 yards beyond Jalen Ramsey. And it's a touchdown. The only way it's not a touchdown, Jamar Chase drop it, and I don't think he's going to drop it. I'm telling you, you go back and you start talking about these quarterbacks, all this stuff matters that we say don't matter. Dak Prescott has done more with less, and we don't want to give him the credit. We haven't had the things around Dak Prescott that he's needed, but I think we're getting there. I think we're going to get there in the next couple of years. I do. I think the Cowboys are going to get there. I think they're going to get there. I think they're going to get this wide receiver at number 12, whether it be at number 12 or trade back and get that wide receiver. But the key for Dak Prescott, I think the Cowboys are going to end it like they started it, but I think they're going to finish it. Dak Prescott And people keep talking about Jaden Daniels. Go back and look at Dak Prescott's rookie season. Dak Prescott puts Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud, Dak Prescott puts their rookie seasons to shame. Dak Prescott was deadly with Ezekiel Elliott. He was deadly. It was probably one of the best teams that the Cowboys have actually had around Dak Prescott, which that wasn't even Dak Prescott's team. That was supposed to be Tony Romo's team. Dak Prescott with a run game. Watch how he looks this season. The Cowboys are going to go out of their way to make sure Dak Prescott has the run game that he needs. They're going to make sure he has the run game that he needs. And they're going to go in this doggone draft, and they are going to get Dak Prescott, one of the best running backs in this draft. I think it's going to be Travion Henderson. The Cowboys are going to have exactly what they want. They got the running backs I think that they're probably calling the Thunder. They're going to get the Lightning in the draft. The Cowboys are going to have a serious run game this year, and I'm here for it. Finally, we're going to have a serious run game behind Dak Prescott again. We're going to have a serious run game. And we're going to see what the offensive line looks like. I think the Cowboys believe they have the offensive line that they need in front of Dak Prescott. I'm here for it. I want to see what it looks like. I think the offensive line is going to be good. I'm excited about everything the Cowboys have done so far. And again, as we think about Joe Milton III, it's a great pickup for the Cowboys. With all of his shortcomings, we have to understand. This tells me, because this was my question early on, if anybody remembers. The Dallas Cowboys are going to tell us what do they feel about the health of Dak Prescott going forward. Because if the Cowboys didn't feel or were not banking on Dak Prescott being healthy going forward, I feel like they would have went and got Jameis Winston. Heck, they might have went and even got Daniel Jones. If the Cowboys didn't think or were not banking on Dak Prescott being healthy, they would have went and got a better veteran quarterback, because that would have told me they don't have the confidence that Dak can stay healthy, so they need to get somebody that in case they need to roll with them for the whole season, they want somebody they can roll with for the whole season. Joe Milton is telling me the Cowboys feel like that Dak Prescott is going to be healthy the whole season, and that they have a plan for Dak Prescott to be healthy the whole season. They're not going to be, I think they're going to make sure that the line is going to be good enough that Dak Prescott's not going to be on the ground as much, and they're going to have a running game. They're going to have a play action game, because that's also going to assure that Dak Prescott is not going to have to run as much. I think anytime if Dak Prescott runs, which I do think that Dak is going to do some running based on the way that Brian Schottenheimer was talking in the interview, the runs will be calculated to where Dak Prescott, unfortunately, he won't be able to do what he was doing in the first 3 seasons, to where Dak was just running like a running back and running through defensive backs and running shoulder down in the linebackers. We won't get that Dak Prescott. But I think they're going to put him in a position to where we're going to get you the wide receivers that if you extend the play, you'll be able to find someone to make the play. Or if you have to run outside of the pocket, you'll be able to get down or get out of bounds. This is where they're going with Dak Prescott, because we know he's older. He's older, so they're going to have to be smarter with the way they operate with Dak Prescott. But I think Dak Prescott's going to be fine. Joe Milton III, that pick told me the Cowboys are banking, and I'm glad they're banking on this. They're banking on Dak Prescott being healthy. Joe Milton III is not the quarterback you go and get if you don't think Dak's going to finish the season. He's the quarterback you get and say, maybe we only have to see him 2 or 3 games, or maybe we don't see him at all. And they're hoping they don't see him at all except in the preseason. They don't see him at all. But again, Joe Milton III, very good. When you think about the fact they were going for a quarterback anyway, very good developmental quarterback. And I still say again, he has to beat out Will Grier. Doesn't mean Joe Milton's going to come in here and beat out Will Grier. We're going to see. I mean, if you went by size alone, you're saying he's a second-string quarterback. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. We thought the same thing with Trey Lance. We thought Trey Lance was going to roll up in here. And one of the things that I was saying was, he got to beat out Cooper Rush first. Didn't beat out Cooper Rush. He didn't beat out Cooper Rush. Now, me, I'm a little bit different. I probably would have started Trey Lance over Cooper Rush because what he didn't have in the quarterback, I thought he had in athleticism. In some of those games, I thought he could have probably did better than Cooper Rush. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys didn't think he was better than Cooper Rush. And so Joe Milton is going to have to convince the Cowboys he's better than Will Grier. Because I'm telling you, Will Grier is probably going to surprise a lot of people in the training camp and in the preseason. Will Grier is probably going to look pretty good, guys. Will Grier is a mobile quarterback. I'm not saying he's Lamar Jackson. He's a mobile quarterback. I mean, he can read defenses. He can throw the ball extremely well. So Joe Milton, size alone is not going to guarantee that he's even the backup for Dak Prescott this year. It may be Will Grier. And again, if Dak Prescott was to go down with a serious, I don't even want to say it, wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys went back into free agency and said the quarterbacks that we have are not good enough for us to do what we need to do. I wouldn't be surprised if they went back, got another quarterback if something actually did happen to Dak Prescott, God forbid. But again, Joe Milton is going to be fine for the Cowboys. I think it's a great trade, especially if you were going to get a quarterback anyway. You got a 7th-round pick. You didn't give up picks, but you did give up some spots. But again, we didn't give up draft capital, and we're going to be able to get another player. So I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Intelligent Savage, what's up, my man? He said, I'm good. He was a part of the 3 options at quarterback I thought should happen. Trade for Joe Milton III, draft Jalen Milrose from Alabama, or get Trey Lance back. You know what? That's probably where they were. That's probably where the Cowboys were. I had in my mind that if they didn't trade for Joe Milton III, I thought they were going to draft Jalen Milrose. Now, Savage, I think the problem, and I think this is the issue with Melrose. I think the Cowboys pretty much kind of figured out that if they got Melrose, he couldn't be the Dak Prescott replacement per se, because you might not even get to see him play at all. The Cowboys are not going to wrap up any money inside of Joe Milton III in the grand scheme of things. You think about Jalen Melrose. If you're looking at him, I mean, you're probably wanting him to be the replacement. He wouldn't be the replacement. By the time anybody would even see him play, the Cowboys would be having to decide if they're going to pick up a 5th-year option on him more than likely. Because I believe the Cowboys want Dak Prescott to retire a Dallas Cowboy. For all the people keep saying the Cowboys can get up under Dak Prescott's contract in 3 years, they don't want to. I don't think they want to. You don't do the contract they did for Dak Prescott and want to get from under him in 3 years. No, they don't want to get from under Dak Prescott. The Cowboys, for all intents and purposes, they like Dak Prescott. They like him for the most part. They want him to retire a Dallas Cowboy. I think Dak wants to retire a Dallas Cowboy. So I don't think they're going, I don't think whatever quarterback, Joe Milton, as long as Dak is healthy, Dak's the quarterback. Bottom line, Dak's the quarterback. So the true replacement for Dak Prescott is when I've already said I think they need to be trying to draft a replacement for Dak Prescott in 2027. To where you know that you will probably get a couple of years of watching him play without Dak Prescott not even being there. So that's kind of where I am. So I'm with you on that. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Intelligent Savage. I'm with you on that part as it applies to Joe Milton. Definitely wasn't a bad pickup. He'll be great for the backup. Trey said people also forget that in that season, Dak didn't even play the fourth quarter in 4 games because they were blowouts. So statistically, it's almost like he missed a game. Boy. Yes, sir, Trey. Yes, sir. We have allowed the media to tell us that the quarterback that we have is not good, when everything that we've seen is showing us that he actually is good. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But again, Joe Milton, yeah, he'll be a good pick for the Cowboys. I mean, it's a good trade for the Cowboys. I'm good with it. The quarterback room is better than it was with Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. Will Grier and Joe Milton III are going to be better understudies and better backups for Dak Prescott. And the team, I think the team as a whole is going to feel pretty good about where they are at quarterback. So now all we need to do, I still think we need some work to do on defense. I am not concerned. I'm still wondering about Asante Samuel. I've heard some people say some things like Asante Samuel's arms are small or something like that. But I still wouldn't mind the Cowboys kicking the tires on him as far as a nickel cornerback is concerned. Again, I would love for the Cowboys to make the Trey Hendrickson move. I'm a little bit perturbed that we didn't make the Calais Campbell move. I understand it, but I wish we would have made it. I think Calais Campbell would have been good in the middle for the Cowboys, but I want them to continue to try and improve the defense. I'm not concerned about the offense because you can fix the offense totally through the draft when you start talking about the skill players. You can get all of that in the draft. All of that stuff you can get in the draft. This draft is pretty deep at wide receiver, extremely deep at running back, to the point that I want the Cowboys to get 2 running backs in this draft, not 1. I want them to get 2 running backs in this draft. And if possible, I would like to see them get 2 wide receivers in this draft. Get 1 on the front end. There are some really good wide receivers that may be still there in the back end. I would get 1 of them too. I do think the Cowboys need to get 2 of them. Sizzling, he says, I want to see Dak retire a Cowboy. I think the Cowboys want to see him retire a Cowboy. I do. I think the Cowboys want to see him. I think the Cowboys want to see him retire a Cowboy too. You don't give Dak that deal if you don't want him to retire. That's a retirement deal. It is. It's a retirement deal. Intelligent Savage. He said only 2 quarterbacks out this draft I could see would have been Dylan Gabriel, Oregon quarterback, or Jalen Melrose. Yeah, Alabama. But they did what I was hoping most for out of the situation. Yeah. And again, Intelligent Savage. This also tells us where they are with Dak Prescott. They are banking and fully confident that Dak Prescott is going to be healthy this season. That's what this is telling us. Now, we don't know the future, but they're banking on Dak being healthy. They are. Hungry Heifer, Dak's contract has a buyout. No. I know people are saying Dak's contract has a buyout. No. Dak's contract is designed to work better with Dak Prescott being here than Dak Prescott not being here. And when you look at Dak Prescott's contract, and I don't understand what you're saying by buyout. There's no such thing as a buyout of Dak Prescott's contract. What Dak Prescott contract is the earliest they can get from under that contract is in 2027, is the end of 2027. So from that perspective, when you think about when you think about Dak's contract, no, Dak's contract is designed for Dak Prescott to be here. You know, I don't understand why people are thinking that. I don't understand the thinking about Dak Prescott that the contract is we can buy it out or whatever the case may be. It's not designed like that. That's not how Dak Prescott's contract is designed. Dak Prescott's contract people. And let me show it to us real quick. Dak Prescott's contract is not designed. It's not designed to get from up under. Dak Prescott's contract is designed for Dak Prescott to retire a Dallas Cowboy. That's how this contract is designed. The soonest Dallas can get from under the Dak Prescott contract, it's not a buyout. The potential out. I want you to underline in your mind the potential buyout. Cowboys are going to take this number next year and they're going to push some of that money here. They're going to take the money the following year. They're going to push that money here. They're going to take the money in 2028 because I will be shocked if Dak Prescott doesn't play for the Dallas Cowboys. I would not be surprised. The Cowboys get to the 2028 season if Dak Prescott is still playing at a high level. And I think there's a possibility that he will still be playing at a high level because Dak Prescott takes care of his body. I will not be surprised if the Cowboys get to right here. And rather than cutting Dak Prescott, Cowboys possibly extend Dak Prescott 2 more years so that they can push more money down an additional 2 years. And even if they don't keep him those additional 2 years, he will still play 2028, still play 2029. And if they decide that they don't want him to play in 2030, I will not be surprised. And I hope that we all lived and talk about this. I will not be surprised if Dak Prescott gets another extension with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm just telling you. You better prepare. You better prepare yourselves. If you're a Dak Prescott hater, you better prepare yourselves. I'm not going to be surprised if this is not the last extension for Dak Prescott. I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not. I'm just not going to be surprised. Yes, sir. Intelligent. Dak contract has a no trade clause, and I'm happy about it. I like it too. Dak earned that much and more. Sure to me. Me too. And again, Y'all better understand what I'm telling you. Dak Prescott's contract is not designed for him not to be here. Dak Prescott's contract is designed for him to be here. That's how this contract is designed. Because if not, you're going to take massive, the way they did this deal, man, the Cowboys take massive cap hits on Dak Prescott. Look at this. This is the 2027. This is a 2026 release. This would be next year. Massive cap hits. Massive. Dead cap, 130. You get hit for another 56 in 2026. This contract is not designed for them to get from under Dak Prescott. It's not. It's not. Even 2027. It's just not. You're still going to be eating massive amounts of cap space if you were to release Dak Prescott. 2028 is the way that if they wanted to cut Dak Prescott, the potential out is 2028. Because no matter how you slice it, the Cowboys are taking massive cap hits. Now, by the time you get to 2028, still going to hit you for a cap hit of $49 million. For a pre-6-1 release. If you get a pre-6-1 trade, he'll hit you still for $32 million. You'll save $45 million. If it's a post-June 1st release, it's a $40 million dead cap. 2029, it's $9 million. You save $38 million. $40 million if it's a post-June 1st trade. $40 million, you save $9 million. Now, all of that said, while there are teams like the Denver Broncos who have taken massive cap hits, most teams don't want to take a $40 million cap hit. They don't want to take a $40 million cap hit. They don't want to do it. And this is one of the reasons why I will not be surprised if Dak Prescott is still playing at a high level. I would not be surprised if Dak Prescott sees one more short extension. I will not be surprised if he sees one more short extension so that they can continue to push money down into these void years. So we'll see how it works out. But again, what we need to be looking forward to is this season. And I think this season is going to be great. All right, Daniel Lim, I appreciate you. That's probably my cue. I got some more business I got to take care of. All right. Well. The Cowboys have gotten Joe Milton III. Again, not bad. Not bad. I'm not really mad. I'm not really mad about it. Not bad. All right, guys, I appreciate you. I think what I'm going to do over the break, I think I'm going to go and see about upgrading my internet. I already got 1 gigabyte internet. I don't understand that part. But I do have other people in the house that are using it. So may have to go get this 2 gigabits or get this 2 gigabyte up 2 gigabyte speed here in the next couple of hours. Man, Gene Ward. Woo. I love what you just said. I am 100% with you. He said, Gene said this is probably, I'm sorry, Gene, I don't know, Gene, I don't know if you're, Gene, you may be a woman, so don't let me say he said. Gene, this is probably the only time you'll hear me say this. I'm glad the Joneses are not listening to the outside noise about one Dakota Prescott. Some of our fans can be knuckleheads. Facts. Alejandro the Barber. I like this move. They might keep him to shadow Milton if he shows growth while here. Just a thought. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Eddie Lowe, he said it's not lies, it's facts. Do your research. Facts. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Intelligence said they played with Dak long enough. Stop playing front office and give him more options out there than CeeDee Lamb. Let's go. Let's get it done, Cowboys brass. And I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to do it. I do. I think they're going to do it. Angie the Rebel Chicks, I appreciate you. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. All right, guys. I'm on the grind. I'll be back today around 4 to 4:30. I am on the grind. We are trying our best to hit 10,000 by the end of the month, if God be willing. If we don't, we still going to be talking Cowboys. We're going to be on the grind, and as we get closer to the draft and with some of the moves the Cowboys are making, we just got to keep moving. There's going to be plenty to report about the Dallas Cowboys. All right, guys. I'll see you again today, if Lord is willing. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.